Hey everybody, it's Lynn here from A Bit of Birdsong, and I'm playing at the art desk, so I thought I would turn the camera on. I'm working on a new journal with the most recent pack. It was a paper and fabric pack, and I've got stuff all over this desk. So I thought, well, you know, people say they don't worry too much about editing and just to come on here and record. So that's what I'm doing. This is still a little bit damp, I think. So I feel frozen. I feel like I can't turn the page right now, but I want to turn the page because I want to show you what we've got so far. I'm not going to worry too much. So you probably remember this pack. I only had 3 of these. I had created 4 packs. I kept 1 for myself and sold 3, and they've all been mailed out. My mail runs so late at night. Sometimes it's 7 o'clock at night. So if you're expecting something from me and I print a shipping label, I always worry about it because I feel like it probably doesn't go out of my neighborhood until 7 p.m. and I'm sure it doesn't get scanned until the next day. But the custom journal that I made with the bandana cover, that's on the way. The 3 packs that had this fabric, they're on the way. Patreon mail is on the way, and I know I mentioned that I'm working on a zine. That will go separately this month from the Pen Pal mail because I haven't finished it yet, and I didn't want to wait too long to get the December Patreon mail out. So I love this. Elizabeth Nesbit is that her name? Nesbit. Maybe it's Elizabeth. I need to look it up. She was considered one of the most beautiful women in the world. And I printed that from my computer and just put it on a piece of watercolor paper, printed it on regular paper, and then put it on the watercolor paper. I am going through just things that are laying around this workshop. I have a lot of leftovers from different packs, and you know, if you create and have a studio or a workshop or a corner or just even a little carry around art case, stuff piles up. So I like to go through and just use it. I haven't attached this tie on the back yet because I might want to put something on the back. I haven't decided yet. So I just put this gorgeous fabric over a file folder, and it's got my usual messy strings and all that good stuff. I put black fabric underneath. It's this satiny sort of, I don't know, it's almost like a flag or something, like what a flag would be, well, sewn onto, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. It's got a satiny feel, but it's kind of stiff. And we have some of the beautiful fabric with the trees, and then I had this piece just floating around. There's some really bright batik that I had, and I made flowers out of that. I didn't attach this completely. I thought, well, you know, I could make a belly band even on the front and just put that so her eyes are peeking out. And I sewed in the signatures where I make 2-page signatures. They're attached to strips of fabric, and then they get sewn into the journal. And just all sorts of paper. I don't like how she's turning a little bit green, but I don't hate it either. It did occur to me that I could just do one big swipe of either texture paste or gesso. And then this is from the stationery. Here's my 2 cents worth. I hope you can see this okay. Oh, my desk is just out of control. Not sure what I'm going to do with this. Of course, on this side, I went ahead and recreated that really fun thing that we did. And I love the way, so I had put ink on the edges of this page. I like the way it's stained right here. I used my shimmery paint, watercolor paints, just from Michael's. They're the store brand, to fill in these different sort of random bubbles from sewing. Let's see, I don't think there's a pocket in this one. Some of them, so like this one is a pocket. So we're going to have a lot in this journal. The journal feels a little light right now, and it's flimsy. The last one I made was corrugated cardboard inside. This one has got my typical file folder, but as we continue to add things, it's gonna be all right. So I just went to my computer this afternoon and looked for images that I thought were really beautiful, really striking. I wanted this to feel boho. I have a lot more room to go, so there are a lot more images that can go in here. The doily, the sort of placemat doily, I tore it into pieces. Here's a piece here. You can see there's a piece on the edge of her paper, or picture rather. There's a piece around here. I thought it would be fun to just tear it up and use it like that. I had this really sparkly netting floating around, so I sewed a piece right between these two signatures. I wanted it just to feel just full, so full of everything. I don't really like that smudge in the middle of this circle, so maybe we will take just some off-white paint, if I have any left. I'm telling you, I gotta buy some more paint. I'm low on, and that's kind of stringy. You know what? We won't worry too much about that. It surprises me how quickly these paints do become stringy. There's green in that. I don't know that I want that. I wonder if we can just... Look, we even got strings on that. Get away. I just want some paint in there. Not strings, just paint. It's kind of starting to smear the black, but that's okay. It really is. I wonder if we could add some of this shimmery, the Pearl X. I was gonna like just tap some out today, and oh my gosh, it went everywhere. I don't need to have a repeat of that. I mean, I did end up using what came out, but this stuff, a little bit goes a long way. And you see what you're dealing with. I just grabbed the closest thing on my desk to transfer stuff around. No wonder it's such a mess out here. Ooh, see how, I don't know if you can see how shiny that is. I really don't think the camera picks up sometimes just how shimmery or opalescent something is. And I don't like to waste anything, so let's just wipe that off at the top and dry it a little bit. It's still not completely dry, but so we had this gorgeous trim in the pack. I'm thinking about putting a piece right on top of this grungy cotton and that painty sort of circle. I like the unexpected, and I also like for things to just feel just kind of wild, you know. I wonder how that would be to just sew that right on there. Maybe it should be shorter though. At first I thought I wanted it to be longer, but I think it's better shorter, or maybe not at all. There's too much black on there, so we will use these in another spot. So I don't like all this like wallpaper right together, but we do have, let me pull this over, we do have more images that I printed. So we could put a layer of something under this photocopy of an old photograph. Hello. One of the things I talked about in my most recent Patreon pen pal note. So I like to make a note every month on my computer and just put different art images, but I was talking about how important our journey is. And I mean, I didn't go all in depth. It's just a little tiny card. But after leaving that the most recent work situation at the scrap exchange, I have felt like a different person. I didn't realize how negative I was becoming. I loved my actual job, but I hated the toxicity that was starting to exist in the workplace. And I feel like a different person. It is so important to remove yourself from a toxic situation if you're in one. Hang on, let me grab some fabric. Oh wait, maybe there's something right in front of me. I just looked down and saw this. Ooh, and I like that so much. I'm glad I didn't have to get up. So, if you're in a situation, so let's just say this for an example. If you don't normally, in the South we say cuss or curse or use swear words, as some people say. This is just an example. Say that that's not something you do all the time, but suddenly you find that to be just a part of your everyday, those words are running through your mind. Or you feel angry towards people. Or things don't make you happy. Things that would normally make you happy are just, you find them agitating. It might be time to step back and evaluate where you are. And as much as I loved the actual job, there were a lot of negative thoughts on like a continuous wheel or reel or loop in my mind. That's gone. That is completely gone. And, maybe there were some trade-offs economically. Maybe I even had to accept letting go of something that I really liked, and maybe ownership of a job that I had that I really liked, just stepping back and saying, well, if somebody else does that job, I have to be fine with it, and I am fine with it. But there's just, and I tried to compress it down into just a tiny little note for Patreon. The journey, you cannot separate the journey from where you end up. So it's really important, as they say, to enjoy the journey. I used to have no idea what that meant. But, and here's another thing. So I thought about this afternoon, enjoying the journey. I was printing out these, the December note cards that I made. And sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 tries to get them right, because I use an editing program to put everything into, and it's really hard to tell sometimes if something is centered up or if it's like too far to the right or too far to the left. And I'll print it out and think, oh, there's a typo, or this was not really centered and I thought it was. So I had printed 1 or 2 of my final draft of the card, and I thought, oh, this, I'm so glad this is done. I'm glad to be getting this done. I happened to glance at my computer, and the letter on the top of my screen in the forefront was one of the wrong ones. It was one of the drafts that I had decided was not right. And I thought, oh my goodness, did I print some of these notes wrong to go out in the mail? Like I didn't want to do that. And at this point I had probably already put 5 or 6 letters into the Christmas cards that are going out. And I thought, okay, wait a minute. You can be upset and annoyed about having to fix it. You can just hope that it was right and not do anything about it, and maybe send a message saying, some of these might have gone out right, and some may have gone out wrong, but I did try to fix it. If some went out wrong, it's not because I didn't try. There was one specific one that I thought I probably printed a bad one. And I told myself, you know what? Enjoy the journey. Is there any merit or any joy or satisfaction in knowing that you're fixing something? And there is. That would take, if it was already sealed up, and I thought, if I open this and I indeed printed the wrong version for this one card. It's going to be so worth it to open it up and repackage it. I'm almost out of tacky glue again. That's why I'm going back and forth. So I went with my gut, which is also really important when you're evaluating your situations and saying, you know, something doesn't feel right. I went with my gut and I thought, well, this is the envelope that I was holding in my hand when I noticed that it was off. So it's really likely that this last one I printed is the one that was wrong. And after I had gotten everything packaged and ready to go out, I went back to that one that I was holding, opened it, and I had truly put the wrong one in there. And I think that was the only mistake. I think the others were all right. And it felt so good. That was part of the journey. It felt so good to take the time to make something right. And instead of griping about it, to say, this is important. It's important to me in the long term that I do this right. So I spent the time to fix it. And it's not that I wouldn't want to fix it. Everybody's worth that extra effort. My thing was that I didn't know if I had made a mistake. And I had to be okay with taking the time to see if I had made a mistake. I also had to trust my instinct. I felt pretty sure that one of them had to be wrong. I'm going to dry this a little bit. It's not totally dry, but that's good enough. And here's these little feathers that Mary sent to me. I wonder, well, they're kind of long. They're not little. But this is a tall journal, so I might be able, let's just, I don't want to mess this up by trying to pull it out. Might be able to use one of these in here. So, I don't know. I've just been very happy since I made the decision I made to leave Scrap Exchange. And again, I would never tell anybody else to not shop there. I haven't been back in over a month. I just don't even want to go in there. There are other places where I can, you know, find thrifted items and such, but I wanted to share that. It's to, like, in my Patreon, it's going out to my my members or subscribers or whatever in the little newsletter. I got so sidetracked on that. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to sew this in. I really just want that hanging on that page. So let me sew this. Oh, you know what though? I need to sew it to something higher. There's something about this page that's off. So let's sew it to this page, but let it, well, can it really hang in the other page? Maybe I could sew it to the actual journal right in the center of that signature. That's what I'm going to do. You know what I could also do? I could also get a tiny safety pin. One that'll go through this chain and pin it to the journal. I'm really loving my new job. And I got a Christmas card today. Connie, I got your card today. And oh my gosh, how can it be? How can it be that our children are so grown? Sending lots of love to you and saying prayers for you. And somebody came into the store the other day. I don't have such mixed feelings about saying where I work. Connie, you were close, but it's not there. I do work in a craft type store. I'm just going to say that. I love it. I love it so much. It's just your typical box store. I don't make as much as I was making before, but I am happy. And that's what matters more than anything else. Oh, you know what? I wondered what to do with one of those butterflies. I wonder if we could take this wallpaper. Wait. Pull that out without tearing that up. Yeah, let's do that. So let's cut this out. Yesterday I was at the cash register though, and in comes this lady with just a beautiful girl with her. And you know, you look at people, you see people, but you don't see them, because when it's one of these busy stores, you're just ringing people up all day. And I love being at the register. I love that job. I love greeting people. I love welcoming people into the store. I like, you know, hearing the chit chat, what people are working on. And I love when there are lulls in all of that, putting candy out, which is always at the front of the store, taking some sort of cleaner and towels and wiping down all the counters, putting out a box of merchandise that's been brought up to me that's close enough where I can still see the cash register. So far, I have not ventured beyond the cash register, and that's okay with me. But anyway, I noticed this lady come in, and the girl was just really pretty and very slender, and just a smile on her face, so pleasant. And then when I had the chance to look up again, I thought, I know them. And the mom had been in our homeschool group. She used the same curriculum that I did. And we had actually done unit studies together. I taught her kids, she taught my kids. And my heart just sort of skipped a beat in a good way. And this girl, this beautiful girl that was with her, was tiny. She was like 7 years old the last time I saw her. And what am I getting at? Anyway, Connie, it made me think about you, because you, I think, used that same curriculum, and you'll know the one I'm talking about. It's just, I don't know, life goes by too fast to be putting negative energy into the world. It really does. Life just is gone so quick. And I'm looking at my children. My oldest is 35. And I remember when I hit my 40s thinking, I still felt young. I didn't have the grief that some people have when they hit 40. But it kind of did hit me, you know. I'm at a place where if I've got goals I want to reach, as far as learning a second language or changing careers or whatever, this is the time to be thinking about that. And if you're going to have any more children, this is a window or a door that's closing. So I don't know, it was just really poignant, or what is it? That might not be the right word. I think it is though, to see that friend of mine. Oh, and she just looked awesome. She just looked great. Maybe this could go here. I do sort of like that with the green. Let me sew this on and I'll be right back. There we go. And I love how that black thread just really makes it pop. I could stay out here all night. Jason was going to go to the grocery store and get some salmon to cook. And we have potato wedges and broccoli, carrots, and cauliflower. That sounds healthy. He said, is there anything you want? And I said, chocolate. So I think he's going to bring me some chocolate, as my little youngest grandson says. Let's see. This needs, you know what I like to do to these old pictures? Where did it go? It's up here somewhere. Oh no, here it is. I knew I took it down. I thought I put it back in the shelf though. Maybe we'll do this one in black. Whenever I see these, if they're in my budget, I try to buy them. These little postmark stamps, they add so much to an image like that. It makes it feel like it's been through the mail or something. Let's see, where are we? I'm climbing up. Let's see. Oh wow, 25 minutes already. That just flew by. It really did. So I'm gonna stop this video. My phone is just giving me a fit. It's got a lot on it. I've been trying to clean it up, but it's like there's just no end to it. Maybe I'll let that be a pocket over here. So many more things to put in. And I think, oh, so that's part of one of the cards that was in the pack. That needs more something that's too shiny and bright. And this, you know what I had done? So this pack had a yellow envelope in it, and I tried incorporating that into the book, and it was too much. It was just too bright yellow. So that's a really good example of, you know, if something doesn't, you don't have to use everything at one time. It's wonderful to challenge yourself. I'm going to use all of this. But then if something doesn't feel right, I'm looking for the page where I tore that out. I had sewn it into the book. Oh, I love this. I'll talk more about this later. We have a lot more to do in here. So I will be back soon. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to just all of you, every one of you who give me a thumbs up, subscribe, everything. I really appreciate it. And I'll be back soon. Bye for now.